Hello, dear friends. Welcome to the video lecture series for TYBSc Botany, Theory Paper number 5, BO 335, Horticulture and Floriculture. Today, we are going to start with the first chapter, Introduction to Horticulture. The lecture on this chapter will be divided into two parts. So, starting with the term horticulture. What do you mean by horticulture? So, basically, horticulture is the science and art of development, sustainable production, marketing, and use of high value, intensively cultivated food and ornamental plants. Or, in short, you can say it is the branch of agriculture which deals with the cultivation of garden crops, generally the fruits, vegetables, and the ornamental plants. So the term horticulture it was derived from the Latin word hortus, which means garden, and colere, which means to cultivate. So basically, it is to cultivate the garden plants. So in general, it covers all the forms of garden management, but in ordinary use, it also refers to the intensive commercial production of the plants. So, in terms of scale, horticulture it falls between the domestic gardening and the field agriculture. Though all the forms of cultivation naturally have close links. So, the next term or the next point which we are going to study is the branches of horticulture. So, horticulture it has several branches depending upon the purpose or the reason for its cultivation or for the purpose of the cultivation of that specific plant. So, based on this horticulture, it can be divided into following branches. The two main branches are the food plants and the ornamental plants. Food plants are further divided into pomology and olericulture, whereas ornamental plants they are divided into floriculture and landscape. So we'll see these terms in detail. So pomology it deals with the cultivation of fruit and nut crops. So basically, the cultivation of fruit crops as well as the nuts, all this cultivation it is termed as pomology. Olericulture it is the cultivation of herbaceous plants which are generally used for kitchen, and it includes carrots, asparagus, lettuce, cauliflower, tomatoes, peas, etc. Another term which is floriculture, it deals with the production of flowers and ornamental plants. Generally, the cut flowers, potted plants, and the greeneries are included in floriculture. The next term is the landscape horticulture. So, landscape horticulture it is a broad category that includes the plants for the landscaping, including the lawn turfs, but particularly the nursery crops such as the shrubs, trees, and the vines. So, the specialization of the horticulturist and the success of the crop are influenced by many factors. Among these, the climatic factors, the stretch of the land, and other regional variations play a very important role for the successful cultivation of the horticultural crops. So, moving on to the next important aspect, that is the scope of horticulture. So, as we all know, like many other things, scope of horticulture it also depends on the incentive it has for the farmers. Again, the adaptability of the crops, the necessity and the facilities for further growth through different inputs, and the available infrastructure, distribution of the produce or the marketing of the produce. So, the basic scope for horticulture is in the incentive for the farmer. So, the farmers, if they get maximum benefit or maximum income from the horticulture, it will help us to get good foreign exchange which will ultimately help the economy of the country. So these horticultural crops they have more returns in terms of per unit area production. It has high export value as well as it also has value addition as compared to the agricultural crops. The second important scope of horticulture is the adaptability. So as we all know, India is blessed with a diversity of climatic conditions. as well as the edaphic conditions. This helps us to grow maximum varieties of the horticultural crops. So the Indian climate, it ranges from tropical, subtropical, temperate, humid, semi-arid, arid, and frost-free temperatures. So all these conditions are suitable for different horticultural crops such as fruits and vegetables, and thus it makes us help, or it helps us for cultivation of these horticultural crops. Not only the climatic conditions, but the soils which are found in Indian subcontinent are the loam type of soils, alluvial soils, laterite soils, medium black, rocky, shallow soils, heavy black soils, sandy soils, etc. And all these types of soils, they can accommodate very high level of adaptability. Thus, there is a very good scope for the horticultural crops. Then the next scope of horticulture is the necessity. So even though uh, man has become self-sufficient in the production of food, but still the nutritional security is lacking. So many people across the country, across the world, they are deficient in certain nutrients. So basically, if we talk about the Indians, most of the Indian population, they are vegetarian, and to meet their nutritional requirement in terms of vitamins, minerals, the horticultural crops, they are very beneficial. Horticultural crops such as the fruits, they have a large amount of minerals as well as vitamins which are present in them, and thus they can help to increase the nutritional security of the people. Continued increase in the demand of horticultural produce also provides tremendous scope for the growth of this industry. One of the main aspects or the scope of this horticulture is that the wastelands, they are best utilized to cultivate the hardy horticultural crops such as the fruits and medicinal plants. So wherever the wastelands are there, the barren lands, they can be widely used for the cultivation of horticultural crops as well as the medicinal plants. So, if we see at present our share in international trade, specifically in the horticultural commodities, it is less than 1% of the total trade. But the commodities like spices, coffee, tea, they fetch 10 to 20 times more foreign exchange per unit weight as compared to the cereal crops, and thus we can take the advantage of this scenario, and we can produce or export maximum products which have high demand in the world market. Then the export value is also one of the important scopes of horticultural crops. So among the fresh fruits, mangoes and grapes, they are widely exported throughout the world. In vegetables, onion and potato fetch a good price. Among flowers, roses are have a high demand. Along with this, some of the spice crops such as the black pepper, cardamom, ginger, turmeric, chilies, cashew nuts, tea, coffee, coconut, areca nut, etc. They also help in the bulk of the export basket. So all these products, they have a very high export value in the foreign countries. Specifically, the European and the Gulf countries, they are the major importers of the horticultural produce which is produced in India. Now, moving on to the next important aspect of horticultural crops, that is the economic importance. So, as per the database provided by Indian Horticulture Database, the fruit crops, they cover an area of 4.96 million hectares, and the vegetable crops constitute around 6.75 million hectares. Accordingly, 49.29 million tons of fruits and 101.43 million tons of vegetables are produced in India annually. So you can see this is a very large amount, and thus we can get maximum foreign exchange from this total productivity of horticultural crops. Apart from the fruits and vegetables, floriculture industry in India, it also is a very developing sector of these horticultural crops. It mostly comprises of the floristic trade, nursery plants, potted plants, seed and bulb products, etc. And it is a very one of the emerging industries of the horticulture. The traditional flowers they are grown on a large hectare of land on a commercial scale. These flowers they are mostly grown for the loose purpose. Areas under cut flowers like rose, chrysanthemum, gladiolus, carnation, and orchids have a high demand day by day. The plantation crops are another potential sector with lot of opportunities of employment generation, foreign exchange, earnings, and overall supporting livelihood sustenance of mankind at large. So there are few more economic importance related to the horticulture. So the horticulture it is a very good source of variability in produce. So maximum variations or maximum products they can be produced with the help of the horticulture. For example, the fruits, spices, flowers, then the landscape plants, vegetables, etc. So there is a variation in the produce. The next important economic importance of the horticulture is that the produce they are the rich sources of nutrients, vitamins, minerals, flavors, aroma, alkaloids, oleoresins, fibers, etc. They are also a good source of medicine. As an economic proposition, they have higher returns per unit area in terms of energy, money, job, etc. The employment generation which is created due to horticulture is large. Most of the people they can be employed in the horticultural sector. Then the effective utilization of the wastelands can also be achieved through the cultivation of hardy fruits and medicinal plants. Even horticultural sector it can act as an substitute of family income being component of the home garden. Along with this, a good foreign exchange can also be earned as compared to the agricultural crops. Then, aesthetic consideration and protection of environment can also be achieved with the help of horticulture. It also has religious significance. In short, we can say horticulture supplies quality food for health and mind, more calories per unit area, it develops better resources, and it yields higher returns per unit area. Along with this, it also enhances the land value and creates better purchasing power for those who are engaged in this industry. Therefore, horticulture can rightly be said that it is very important for health, wealth, hygiene, as well as happiness. Now, let's see some of the export and import potential of horticulture. So, India's diverse climate ensures the availability of all varieties of fresh fruits as well as vegetables. We can cultivate a large number of fruits and vegetables according to the requirement of the plants. India it ranks second in the production of fruits and vegetables only after China. And as per the National Horticulture Database, which was published by National Horticulture Board during the year 2015-16, India produced around 90.2 million metric tons of fruits and 169.1 million metric tons of vegetables. India, it is the largest producer of ginger and okra amongst vegetables and it ranks second in the production of potatoes, onions, cauliflower, brinjal, cabbage, etc. Among the fruits, the country ranks first in the production of banana, papaya, and mangoes. The vast production base offers India tremendous opportunities to export. So, with the help of this maximum production, India it can be self-sufficient as well as maximum produce. It can also be exported to the different countries. So around 2018-90, 19, India exported fruits and vegetables worth rupees 10,236.93 crores, which equals to 1,469.33 USD millions, which is US dollars, which comprised of fruits as well as the vegetables. Then the fruits such as grapes, pomegranates, mangoes, bananas, oranges, they account for the larger portion of the fruits exported from the country, while the vegetables such as onions, potatoes, tomatoes, green chilies, they have a large share in the export of the India in Indian horticultural crops. The major destinations to which the Indian fruits and vegetables are exported are Bangladesh, UAE, Netherlands, Nepal, Malaysia, United Kingdom, Sri Lanka, Oman, and Qatar. Though India's share in the global market is still 1% only, there is increasing acceptance of horticultural produce from the country. So, here we come to an end of the first part. The remaining part will be continued in the second part. Thank you.